Hi, I'm Ruben Lowing, and I'm interviewing Mary Thomas Miller with Innovative Therapy. Mary, I came to you, I was working out, but I had pain. I had gone from 239 pounds down to 214, and I was pretty excited about that. And you told me that you could help me with my pain. And tell me a little bit about TMR and what the foundation of it is and how it works.
Okay, so TMR stands for Total Motion Release. And the premise behind it is by using our best movements in a specific sequence, we can expand those best movements throughout our entire body so that those movements that give us pain or limit us are less, meaning fewer number of movements that cause us pain and fewer body parts that cause us pain, because we end up balancing our own bodies by doing these specific movements.
Well, what I found out, you had me go through a certain sequence of exercises and positions, and it found out where the hot spots or the pain spots were, and then once we found those out, then you had a whole sequence of exercises on the other side, the side that didn't bother me, and it made the side that was bothering me bother me less or reduce the pain. How does that work?
Right. So if we look at Turtle Man back here, our core is supposed to be right here in our center. But a lot of times we have an injury and it pulls the core out of the center. And then what happens? We get another injury and it goes to another place. And by the time that we've been through a few years of life, which most of us have been through, we end up with that core, not just a straight line down, but we end up with all of these different places that it goes to. So what we're looking for when we test those movements is where's our next place that we need to go in order to bring the core closer back to the center. And over that sequence, what we were doing is bringing that core into the center.
So what happened was, I was pretty happy with the weight loss that I had, losing, like 25 pounds in a year. And then I doubled that. I went from 214, now I'm down to like 164, because I was able to step up my activity and do more things. I'm doing things now that I never did at my peak, all right? And it caused me to even burn more calories and lose more weight. And I'm very excited about that. I started promoting it to other people, other veterans, or people I know that maybe need to work out. And I promoted F3, Faith, Fitness, and Fellowship. And I'm excited about that, and everybody else gets this deer in the headlights look, because they're worried about the pain. How could TMR help them through that process?
Well, it's like you said a minute or two ago, where you said that we actually used the movements that didn't hurt to resolve the pain in the areas that did hurt. So we weren't using the movements over and over again in the painful areas. We were using the movements that didn't hurt in order to bring that out of balance into a different balance, and then continue to work on that by finding the movements that hurt and then treating with the movements that didn't hurt in that specific sequence. And so you don't have to beat people up, you don't have to injure them or hurt them in order to help them find that balance and be able to know their bodies better. We basically have two motivators in life, pain and pleasure, right? So nobody wants pain. And so finding a method to help people resolve the pain without going through so much pain is really a gift, because when people start to use it, they're like, well, I can do that, because this method can be taken very, very basic and very, very beginning level, even for somebody in a wheelchair who has very significant physical limitations. Or you can start somebody who is working out, such as yourself, and we can make those workouts easier and more pleasurable and more enjoyable, because once your body was in better balance and you're exercising with no pain, what do you want to do? Exercise more, move more, enjoy life more. And so by balancing this out, using these movements, You don't have to go into severe pain. You just go to the point where you know what's blocked or what's limited. You use what's not limited in order to shift the balances for people.
Well, what got me really motivated was one of my friends from the SEAL teams, a couple years younger than me. He let himself get big, and he got inactive, and his heart couldn't take it, and he'd had a heart attack. And we had an officer, did 2 platoons together, the same officer, asked me